give them much of a chance to talk.
Hello! Hello! We're here.
We are, sorry, two fabulous guests on the show today. Wow.
Yes, we go away with the fairies on Belle Isle with Amy Emmett.
And we have magician, author and speaker Jason Michaels talking about resilience.
And he's going to do some amazing magic as well.
Hello and welcome. This is Keith Field.
And this is Lady Sarah.
And thank you for joining us for
a cup of tea.
We have new mugs, don't we, darling?
Look at that. Yeah, they were a gift from someone we had on the show a few weeks ago. Mittens for Detroit.
Mittens for Detroit. Great organisation. Do get them along to or look up their website and check what they do.
Yes.
So, darling, we need to start, apart from the mess up I just made, we need to talk about last Tuesday.
Did something important happen last Tuesday?
We did an experiment. Not only was it the election, it was our 30th wedding anniversary.
30 years. Best 27 years of my life. 3 of them were a bit iffy.
We pre-recorded the show so that we could have the day out.
Everything was set up, everything was perfect, and everything went wrong.
It all turned to custard.
Which is, I think, a British expression. We should have saved that one for save something in British. And anyway, the long and the short of it is, if you missed last week's show, you can catch it on YouTube, where you can also subscribe.
And all our positive thoughts are on that video. Great show, great show. But, darling, you also need to tell them about your new look.
Oh, yes, folks. What do you think? Is it
close-up is awful, darling.
I decided to join Movember, which is the it's a fundraising event for men's health, and you can see the link down there if you would like to make a donation. The only thing is, halfway through, I discovered that you're not meant to have a beard. It's Movember. It's just a moustache. So here, this week, you've got to see the beard. Next week, you're going to see the moustache, and we'll get it right. Because
we've got Johnny Owens on the show next week, live from London, telling us all about this amazing charity and how it's run across the globe.
And while we're talking about fundraisers, we're going to mention another one to you, which is free to anyone who wants to join, coming up on Friday the 13th. Whoa. That's a bit dodgy.
We're doing a fundraiser for the Dog Stravaganza for the Humane Society. You can go onto their website, register for the tickets for free. Yes, you can make a donation, but we're launching our new series, Magic for Dogs.
Should we show them?
Here's a clip.
We'll give you a clip. There's lots more of that.
Tremendous, darling, tremendous.
You know, they say never work with animals and children, but I'm working with animals on Friday the 13th. I think this is destined to go wrong.
Awful, dreadful, dreadful, dreadful.
It's going to be an interesting show, folks.
You will also see the show on CMN TV, which is cabled into 200,000 homes locally here in Metro Detroit.
So if you're watching on CMN TV, hello!
Hello!
Nice to see
we
you.
need to wave again. Hello! That was it. Forget it. Okay,
so,
well.
Our first guest. Yes, we have guests on this show, and our first guest we first met. That was a complicated way of saying it.
It was, wasn't it?
In Nashville, Tennessee, when we were performing at a fantastic venue called A House of Cards.
He's not only a magician, he's an author, and he's a speaker, but he's got an incredible story to share with us today.
And he spends a lot of his time entertaining the American forces overseas and in the USA. So let's see what he used.
Should we see some pictures? Let's see some pictures. Oh, look at that.
I think he's the one in the middle.
He's such a thespian.
He
You'll see another picture of him now performing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
perfect.
a man born to be on stage. So we're going to find out a lot more about him. So please welcome our good friend, Mr. Jason Michaels.
I look a little different from those pictures.
You sure do.
You sure do.
Those are some great first experiences.
Yeah, one of my favourite bits of the show is looking at those pictures of people, what they were like and what they are like now. It always amuses me.
Right.
Now, Jason, whereabouts in the country are you?
So I'm in Nashville, actually just slightly outside of Nashville, Tennessee, in a city called Hendersonville, Tennessee.
So I suppose it's lovely and warm down there.
It's pretty nice. It's getting cool, but it was like almost 80 degrees yesterday.
You can go off, people.
Yeah,
Can't
right,
you? We're heading for a cold snap now. We've had a luxury of a few days of really nice weather, but it's about to go into Michigan winter. It's coming, folks. It's coming.
Yes, quite. So should we play our game?
Play the game. Yes. Say something in British. Now, the way this works, as all our regular viewers. Oh dear. Okay, I've got a whole load of cards here, and I'm going to just drop them down, and wherever we stop, that's the word. Just say stop.
Stop.
Okay, we'll go with that one, and the word is chinwag. Chinwag. Yes, sorry.
I wanted my favorite British word. I wanted the word tart.
Tart.
For some reason, I find that word fantastic. I don't know why.
Tart. I want to know what you mean by tart, because it's got several meanings, but let's concentrate on chinwag.
Chinwag.
Any ideas?
So what am I supposed to use it in a sentence?
Yes.
Or just tell us what you think it might mean.
Well, when I was young, I used to act on stage, and my signature move was the chinwag.
I like it.
I like it.
But it's
wrong.
Wrong. About that. We'll come back to that. We may find out a little bit
We
later
may.
on.
Keith, I just need to bring up another magician that I believe wanted to say hello.
Wayne Dobson.
Oh, wow.
Devil are you? Nice to see you, Wayne. Thanks very much for tuning in. For those folk that don't know, Wayne Dobson is a huge star of the magic world in the UK and a huge star in the magic world. So we're honoured to have you watching. And if you want to come on the show, Wayne, just drop me an email. You will be we'll bump any guests. We'll get rid of Jason. You can come on right now.
Wait a minute. You know what? I would do that too. I would say, yeah, I think Wayne would be a much amazing.
That was Wayne Dobson watching our show.
Move on. Jason, rubbish. Jason, tell us, why did you decide to become an author?
You know what? I had some really unique experiences in my life, and I'm not married yet. In fact, I'm getting married next year. But at the time that I decided to write my book, thank you, I didn't have a girlfriend or anything. I didn't have any kids. And I thought to myself, I've learned a lot of unique lessons, and I want to share some of this with the world. And even if it's just for ultimately my relatives at some point, when I'm long gone, they can look at this book and say, wow, this dude lived an interesting life.
Good grief. So not only are you a magician, but you're an author as well. And in this book, you share about the neurological disorder, Tourette syndrome.
Yes.
That's huge. That was hard for me to say, I have to say. But Jason, tell us a little bit about that.
So Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder. The way it manifests itself is through what doctors refer to as tics. And tics are rapid, repetitive, uncontrollable either movements like twitches, sometimes they're larger movements, or they're vocalizations. And because they're uncontrollable and they're rapid and they're repetitive, they're very surprising to people. They're surprising to me when they happen. And so they're surprising to the people around me. So the difficult part about Tourette's is just that sometimes people make fun of you. Now, sometimes it's because they genuinely want to make fun of you, but sometimes they're just startled by the situation that they're in, and they may make a comment. And when I was a kid, the one thing that I really wanted more than anything else was to not stand out unless it was something I was specifically trying to stand out. So if I'm at the grocery store and the tics start coming out, I'm really not looking for an audience. So the hard part with the Tourette's is just, as a young person, it was extremely difficult because most of the time Tourette's the tics are at their most prevalent during your adolescent years.
So growing up with that must say has a bit of an impact on your life. So in relationships and everything.
Yeah.
So, the interesting thing is that as an older person, what I realized was that the things that felt so impossible to deal with, they ended up giving me what I like to refer to as superpowers. So I have the ability to be very empathetic, more empathetic to people than probably the average person, just because I've dealt with so many difficult circumstances of my own. So I almost look now, back then I didn't look at it this way, but now I almost look at it as a blessing to have to deal with this.
And that leads us into something we wanted to ask you about, because you talk a lot about resilience, and I can see where that comes from now. But what exactly do you mean by the term resilience when you talk about it? So
the way that I'm referring to it is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Basically, it's like a mental toughness, not so much physical toughness, more like a mindset type of situation.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
That's really interesting.
So therefore, do you have some techniques? Do you have some thoughts on how we can deal with resilience?
So one of my favorite ones is compassion. The thing that we don't think about when we're dealing with difficulties, and sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We are difficult on ourselves for whatever reason. And the one thing we don't think about is showing compassion to ourselves. Sort of the example that I like to make is, if you had a close friend, like your best friend came to you and said to you, I'm dealing with this incredibly difficult life problem, you would show that person compassion.
Right.
Take that compassion and bring it back to yourself. Treat yourself as if you are your own best friend. Because if you treat yourself that way, imagine how you'll naturally treat other people in the world.
Yeah.
That makes good sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Total sense.
Listen, I know you've got the book. Can you just very quickly tell us where we can get it? And I'm sure you can hold a copy up.
Go on, hold a copy up.
You must have a copy there.
So you can get it on Amazon.com. You can also just go to my website, which is jasonmichaelsmagic.com, where if there is a place you can click on if you want an autographed copy. But it's available on Amazon as both an ebook and a hard copy book.
Now, I'll be absolutely honest. I haven't actually read it, but I do know of people that have read it, and they all seriously recommended it to me. So
guess what he's getting for Christmas?
Oh, now I know. That sorted that problem out then. Jason, the other thing, of course, you are known for is your fantastic magic, and we can't sort of let you just come on this show and just talk. Do you have any magic you can grab for us? Or
so I have an entire studio over here where I'm. Thank you, Colin. That's very nice. Actually, you know what? Let me do that. Since he likes that performance of that trick. I'm gonna go into my virtual studio where I'm performing virtual shows. I'm gonna grab the thread, and I'll if you give me a minute, I'll come back and do it.
Perfect. We'll bring you back after we've chatted to our next guest.
Perfect.
Lovely. See you in a few minutes. That was Jason Michaels. Thank you so much for being here.
Wonderful. Wow, what a great guy. We didn't even get onto the Forces shows.
No, we didn't, did we?
No, we'll have to bring him back for that. Yeah, okay. Listen, we love Belle Isle, and they have something going on that we want to share with you.
Yes, because our next guest is going to tell us all about the fairy doors of Belle Isle.
Yes, but let's see a picture of her right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that picture.
I'm not sure what she's doing.
I'm not sure what she's doing. Look, there we go.
Perfect. There we go. We go from the rather dodgy shots to the
your family shot. 80s, I'd say. What do you think with those perms?
There's definitely a bit of perms going on.
Yes, lovely. Lovely.
Chintzy dresses, very nice. Yes.
So please put your hands together.
All the way from the Belle Isle Conservancy, Amy Emmett. Hello, Amy.
Oh, hello. Those pictures, that hair. Wow.
Yes. Have you any idea what you had in your hand in that picture? Because it looked like the rather suspicious teenage sort of thing that maybe you shouldn't have had in your hand.
Considering my sister is next to me, my guess is it was food.
That's a much better answer than what most of us were thinking.
Yeah. Perfect. So whereabouts are you, Amy?
Right now, I'm in the outer suburbs of Detroit, at home with everyone online.
Oh, yes, you've got your kids online, haven't you?
Yes.
They're doing online, and then my husband and I working as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of internet.
So, say something in British.
Yes.
Our game. Now, the word of the day is chinwag. Do you have any idea what that word is, means, or how you would use it in a sentence?
Chinwag?
Oh, that was an English accent, wasn't it?
Can I please get a chinwag with my cup of tea?
Ah, nice.
That's actually almost, you know, it's close, but I know, yeah, we'll come back.
We'll come back. We'll definitely come back. Now, just tell us, because we know lots about fairy doors, but tell us tell the viewers out there, what are fairy doors?
Well, fairy doors are miniature magical portals between our world and this wonderful imaginative world of fairies.
Look at that.
That was very precise.
That was very precise. I love that. And you've brought a whole bunch of them to Belle Isle. What inspired this?
Well, as everyone knows, with 2020's really thrown a lot at us. And for those of us that still do go down to the aquarium every once in a while, nothing's more heartbreaking than to see faces, young and all, peering into this beautiful old aquarium that they can't come into. Yeah. And so our staff at the Belle Isle Conservancy talked with the local Belle Isle fairies and we came up with a deal to find another way to sort of awe and inspire our visitors and engage with them, even though they can't come inside. Yeah. So we put some really fun and engaging things outside our buildings.
Absolutely.
In fact, we sneaked down there last week.
We did. We did.
And we had a little wander around, and I think we might have a couple of pictures.
Yeah, we've got a couple of pictures. Look at that. Look at that. That's the Harvest fairy door. Number 12. There's a lot of them down there, aren't there, Amy?
Yes, 17.
17, and that was a cute little one. Look, there's a washing on the line.
And they've got a little, is that a little table and chairs sat out the front and that sort of thing. It's really, really sweet. And
you can find them all down there. And again, from the website, there's a great map. But we came across fairy doors back in London.
Yes, I don't know what the history of them is. But I don't know how far back fairies go.
But we have one as well, Amy, which we took a picture of. Look. Oh, I know, with our future leader dog, Magic. There he is.
He's guarding the fairy door. And listen, folks, this is a really silly thing to do, but you'd be surprised the impact that doing something like that has on your community. We have kids walking past our front door now, and they're stopping. And they're even now leaving
gifts for the fairies.
So often and there's an extra. In fact, the character you can see just next to the door there. What is it? I can't remember.
It's a little minion, a king minion.
A king minion, which has just arrived, just appeared there. So these are fantastic little community things that we can do.
But who created them? Who created them for Belle Isle?
As I mentioned, it was a collaboration between the Belle Isle Conservancy staff and the fairies on the island. We worked with them to sort of provide some materials and discuss placements that would be magical for everybody.
And they're not there for long, are they? How long are they there for?
No, unfortunately, as fairies do, they show up, they pop out of nowhere, as ours did, and they will disappear November 29th, the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. So we do encourage people to get down now, especially with the weather being so beautiful. Wonderful time to do some fun engagement outside.
And where do they find them? How do they find them?
So as you mentioned, there is a map. Actually, if you go down to Belle Isle at the Belle Isle Aquarium, there is a large sign that has a picture of the map if you want to take a picture with your phone. Otherwise, we do provide paper maps. And then as I see there, you've got our website up.
Yes.
So if you go under events, you'll find fairy doors. And then what's there is a PDF map. Now, it doesn't show you specifically, because that's half the fun, is actually trying to find them. And as I mentioned, they're small like yours.
Yeah.
And there's just circles around the general area that you will find 1 through 17 themed fairy doors. So and they span from the aquarium all the way to the edge of the conservatory.
So it's like a treasure hunt and an adventure and a fairy story all rolled into one.
Yeah, something great to do.
Yes, there's something for every age. Some people just like to go and look at the magnificent craftsmanship. Other people, they really do, as I've seen children knock and tell the stories to whoever they're with as to what the theme might be, which is really fun to be an ear and listen to some of our younger visitors as to what they think the door represents and who might be in there.
That's
Belle Isle, there's so much to do, people. Just get down there. There's so much to do.
Well, they call it one of the jewels of Detroit, don't they? And if you haven't been, folks, please go, because it's just fabulous, isn't it? Just
absolutely, fabulous. Absolutely. Well, So, what next, Mr. Field?
Well, next, I'm looking at our array of screens in front of us, and it's looking like Mr. Michaels.
Mr. Michaels ready?
Is ready, so we'll bring it back in. Yes, I'm getting the thumbs up.
Right,
so,
perfect.
There we go.
Perfect.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll throw you into the dominant position in the screen. And
oh, my goodness.
No pressure. And so, Mr. Michaels, take it away.
Very good. I thought I would share with you. Colin mentioned that he enjoyed my Gypsy Thread performance, and so I thought I would share with you what I think is a beautiful piece of magic, and it's beautiful because it only uses 2 hands, 10 fingers, a piece of thread, and a little bit of magic. Now, as we travel along the path of life, we hope and pray that our lives will be unbroken strands of joyful moments, positive emotions, and uplifting experiences. Your first car, the satisfaction of a job well done, the excitement of new love. Unfortunately, sometimes life is broken by events, circumstances, and emotions that disrupt the lives we hope for. Loss, shame, rejection, anger, and even pandemics. But there was a period in my life when I was going through a very difficult time, and I had a wise man give me a wonderful piece of wisdom, a piece of knowledge. And here's what he told me. He said, Jason, hope can help us to see the invisible, to feel the intangible, to achieve the impossible, and hope can help restore our lives.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Nice, Jason.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That was really good.
And very apt for the moment.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Because I mean, that's the kind of stuff you do in your life, isn't it? You do speaking work as well, which is meant to be just like that.
Motivational and encouraging.
Yeah, when I go out and I talk to groups, so I try to find the hardest part about speaking to a group. Is basically engaging them. So when somebody hears, "Oh, we have a speaker," the immediate first thought is, "Oh gosh, how long is this going to last?" So the thing that I have found is that because I have 25 years of experience of being a magician, if I can find a way to use magic to keep people engaged, and even better, if I can find a way to use magic to help educate people. So if I'm making a point on a specific topic and I can take the magic and use that magic to kind of drive the point home or make it easier for people to understand, that is the thing that makes me a little bit different from everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is the magic, isn't it? That is absolutely the magic.
When you can touch people and read. Well, it's kind of, we've got the magic of fairy doors, and we've got the magic of prestidigitation all happening. It's kind of fantastic.
It's brilliant.
So we've got to say something in British.
Yes. Have you got the answer, Keith?
I've got the answer to chinwag. It's actually quite simple. I'm going to see if you can guess what it is when I make a bit of an explanation. When does your chin wag? What are you doing when your chin wags?
Smiling?
Talking?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
A chin wag is a chat, a conversation.
Guys, come on.
Usually it's kind of the idea of let's get together and have a good chin wag. You're going to sit down and have a really good talk.
And that's what you need to do at this time of pandemics.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
sit down and have a good chin wag.
Is to have a good chin wag. Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got it. You've got it.
So, folks, your challenge for the day is to use the word chinwag in conversation, and then all your friends will look at you as blankly as people look at us when we're talking over here and saying it's all gone to custard and all those weird phrases.
Things that we don't want to know. Jason, we need a positive thought as we go in. I mean, you've given us lots to think about with just that beautiful piece that you just did, but a positive thought to go into this week.
That's true. We're asking for another positive.
We want another one, Jason. Another positive.
You know what? Let me just build off of the message that I share. I think a positive thought would be to share hope with other people, because you never know when they need it the most.
Oh,
I like it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Hope is the thing that keeps us going, isn't it? So it's
is.
very valuable, very valuable. I like that. Amy.
A positive thought.
Wow, I don't know if mine will be quite as poetic, but given that everything that 2020 has put before us, I think we all could use a little magic. I love that that's what you all do, is spreading magic and joy and hope to all of us. So I would encourage everybody to go out and find a little magic, a little joy, and share it. And one way you can do that is to come to Belle Isle and check out our fairy doors. And hopefully that will bring you some joy and hope, and then you can spread it to others in whichever way you can.
Perfect, Amy. Perfect.
I tell you, these Belle Isle folk are very good about the PR, aren't
they? Yes, that's right.
We had
Michelle Hodges
on, and she was saying, if you want to experience some magic, come to Belle. It was all, she themed it all beautifully. So you guys are really fantastic.
There's lots going on Belle Isle. Well, we need to come.
We learned something else about Amy, of course, when we were talking beforehand. She hasn't always worked for Belle Isle. You used to work you were
in zoos.
In zoos.
Yeah,
and I was thinking we've got to get Jason back on to talk about the forces shows that he does. And we need to get Amy back on to talk about working at a zoo.
Darling, at the beginning of the show when we saw Wayne Dobson was on, you'd invited him as well, and he's already replied.
He said he's going to come on the show. Oh wow! Fantastic. That's going to be.
He has MS, but I know that
special.
He will be a great guest to have on.
Wayne, we're going to talk to you sometime over the next couple of days, if we may, and we'll make that happen. God bless you, sir. Thank you for your support.
And so, for you guys, thank you for coming on for a cup of tea.
What a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
So, from Jason Michaels, Amy Emmett, Keith Fields, and myself, cheerio.